Hello SLAPAFISH community and welcome back to another World Tanks console video. So in this video, I'm going to be playing the T-28, a tier 4 Soviet medium tank that leads up to the Object 277, which can also lead up to the IS-4, IS-7, and the, what's the other one? 705 Alpha. So the T-28 leads to a lot of tank. So here's the T-28, and this is how I would set it up. So my equipment wise would be the advanced loader, the advanced optics, enhanced target info, advanced gunling drive, and my commander skills would be born leader, rapid loading, steadying, multiple shot, sixth sense, silent driving, situational awareness, deadeye, and run and gun. So yeah, that's exactly how I would set up the tier 4 Soviet medium tank, the T-28. Also, I'm using my T-28 is fully upgraded with the 57mm gun that does 85 damage, 112 standard penetrations, which is really nice, 189mm of penetration on its premium, which I believe this is the same 57mm gun that you get on the KV-1. So you know it's going to be the powerful gun. It has 1,889 DPM, so yeah, you're going to rip apart plenty of people, and you're definitely going to see that in this replay. The lacking parts of this gun is basically the aim time and the accuracy. The aim time is 2.3 seconds, and the accuracy is 0.34, which is, as I think of it, is pretty good. So I guess it's pretty much the aim time because you reload faster than you aim in, so that's always a bad thing. You also have 6 degrees of gun depression, so you can work ridge lines, but you also... Now, let's talk about the downsides of the tank. Like I said, the T-28 has an amazing gun. It's got that amazing 57mm guns. It can't be all good, right? So, let's talk about the view range. The view range is at 340 meters. And here's a little M2 medium. Goodbye, little M2 medium. You're dead. Anyway, you have 340 meters of view range. Your armor is completely trash. Your turret armor is 25 at the front, 25 at the side, and 25 at the rear. And your armor on the front of your tank is trash also. You have a 30mm plate on your lower plate, 30mm plate on part of your upper plate, 20mm on the mini turrets, which this tank may get the multi-turret system once in a while. In the future, and you have 20mm on the side and rear, so you precisely have no armor. And what else before I get into what's happening in this replay, because it's starting to get very, very interesting very, very quickly. Now, top speed is terrible. For a medium tank, it's 45. Reverse is 20, so it moves around like a heavy tank, but its horsepower per ton is 29.27 horsepower per ton. So I had to go through all those stats really quickly to fill that void of time and talking about the stats of this tank, because now it's starting to get interesting, because there are 3 tanks on my team. Make that 2. 10 on the enemy. So now, let's see if we can actually pull this off. Here's an MX-38 that's coming up. Yeah, there are bots in this match, but there are a lot of real people too. So let's just get this on the board. And a Panzer IIIJ sniping him from across the distance. Now it's down to a 2v8, and my friend down there is about to get taken down. But luckily, he will take out somebody when he falls. So the M5 Stewart just left me in a 1v7 with artillery and mainly real players on the enemy team with 2 bots, I believe. Now, I remember seeing a Hetzer going up the ice road, so I was like, okay, I want to go take out the Hetzer because there's nothing coming this way quickly. So I'm just going to load my premium because I don't really want to get shot by the Hetzer. Remember, I have absolutely no armor and stuff like that. I have been one-shotted multiple times in this tank, and yeah. So, and the Hetzer definitely has a gun to do that. The question is the Hetzer actually using the proper gun? Now, you're going to see in this replay where the aim time really does suffer. Since I'm loading premium, I can go through the entire Hetzer, leave on 1 hit point, and now the Hetzer is dead. Now I'm going to pull up the team list and make sure I don't need any more premium rounds and just switch back to my standard rounds. So now we marked it down to a 1v6, and there is a enemy tank in the cap circle. I have no idea where it is. Oh, there, look, the HM8 C8, which can also use a derp gun. And here's a little tier 3 Swedish tank destroyer, or tier 4 Swedish tank destroyer that actually does have really good armor. And it also has a derp gun, and luckily it missed me, so that's really nice. Yeah, there's a lot of tanks at this tier that can one-shot you in the T-28, so you really have to be careful in this tank. You are very big and not very fast, but you have really good horsepower per ton, so yeah. That's what you really got to worry about. So now it's down to 1v4, and somebody's capping, and I have reserved majority of my hit points, 230. And since there's still artillery in play, and I'm a very big target, I'm the only target, that can go away very, very quickly. Now, here's a medium 3. I'm like, medium 3. I was like, oh, let me go out here and just farm them. Then I realized the medium 3 has a very fast rate of fire, about as fast as I am. So that knocks me down from my 230 hit points to 89 hit points. And leaves me in a 1v3. So pretty much, I am now a one-shot for most of the enemy team. Luckily, I brought it down to a 1v3, and I'm now just going to climb this position to see if I can find another target. And guess what? Somebody else jumps in our base. Now I come over here to spot, and I spot the Electo that's on 8 hit points. Now, to let you mention that Electo was also in a platoon, so I'm guessing the Electo's actually pretty good, a good player, and I'm going to kill this Type 91 pretty quickly. But the Type 91 did put a shot into me, and now I'm a one-shot. There's artillery in play, so I need to hug the ridgeline, and also the Electo is staring down that corner, so I'm like, okay, I need cover. Maybe I could bait a shot. And I was thinking, it's like, oh, maybe I could push a tank over there. But also when I'm pushing this tank, I'm like, maybe artillery is watching me. So I'm really hoping artillery doesn't hit me. But hopefully this ridgeline can actually protect me from that. So I'm thinking about like pushing this little tier 3 Swedish tank destroyer into position to try to use it as cover when I poke around the corner in case the Electo's still sitting there. Now, it's not really going the best of ways for me. So, yeah. Still trying to push it. This tank is a little bit heavier than you realize it is. I'm like, okay. And this tank doesn't really have the best of pushing power. I guess it does have a good pushing power, just not when you're hauling a dead tank that has pretty decent armor on the front of this tank. Because I have ricocheted off the tier 3 or tier 4 Swedish tank destroyer a lot. I was like, screw this. Let me just go peek around the corner and just see if the Electo's there. So the Electo ran. It is 8 hit points. I'm like, okay, what is an Electo going to do? I'm going to do one more thing. I want to climb back up there, back on my hill, and spot. And see if I can get out a spot. I do have rations, so I can enable rations, and maybe I can spot the Electo. And I come up here, there's no Electo. Where's the Electo? And also, there's artillery in play that has not shot at me yet. So I'm like, okay, what's happening here? I'm like, okay. Maybe the Electo went to go defend. So let me go make myself all the way to the enemy cap circle. Now, during this entire trip, I get the feeling that they're going to jump on the cap circle. And if they do, even if one jumps on the cap circle, and I'm halfway across the map, because of my limiting 44 top speed, I probably won't make it back. And that's what I'm really scared of them just jumping on the cap circle and capping me out. Now, I must admit, when I first played this when I first grinded through the T-28 a very long time ago, like 6 years ago, on console. I don't remember how I grind through it on Blitz, but on console, I hated this tank. I really did. And anytime I got into a match with this tank, I would just literally jump off a cliff. And that's how I grinded through this tank. If I could get a chance to kill myself, it was the very beginning of the match. I would just jump off a cliff and do it. That's how much I hated this tank. I did not want to play it. Probably because of how little armor it has. It's slow. But then I watched a Quickie Baby's video of the 57mm on this gun. I was actually watching a live stream on the T-28, just ripping apart people. I'm like, maybe I should give this tank another chance. And I actually really do like this tank. Okay, now I'm climbing this hill to see if I can find where the enemy is. I'm like, okay, maybe they're going to the base. Oh, look, I spotted an Electo. And I fire, and because of my 6 degrees of gun depression, I failed to hit the target. And I backed up really quick because the Electo can turn very, very fast. Now, we're still missing the artillery, which the artillery just got spotted. And I'm like, oh crap, they're both here. Well, this is good and bad news. The good news is, I know exactly where they are. The bad news, they could double team me, and I could die. Now, I tried to put another shot into the Electo, and it hits the ground. Now, I'm like, okay, the Electo is up there. Maybe, then I noticed the M37 is actually AFK. Maybe if I put a shot in the M37, the Electo will come down here. And that's why I'm backing up and trying to look that way. I'm like, okay, what to do here? I'm actually just going to kill this M37. I'm going to put one shot, then killing shot. Now, 2 minutes 44 seconds left in the game, and I want to kill the Electo. Now, I know what I should have done is that the Electo was actually waiting for me. What I should have done, and that result, right before I wasn't thinking about it, I could have just jumped on the cap circle, and the Electo would have to come over the ridge line to expose itself to spot me and to get a shot on me. I should have done that. That's precisely what I should have done. Oh well, you live and learn. I got 8 kills, 1700 damage, which is very impressive for tier 4. Did a 1v7, but ended in a heartbreak at the end. Anyway, that's it for this video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Also, remember to SLAPAFISH because we're not. And peace out. See ya.